In this tutorial video, we will learn how to create a BEM exchanger type and how we can create the tube bundle simply. Beginning, we will create project, select the module. After that, we will create the channel head, define the inside diameter, straight flange thickness. After that, we will define the shell course, select the type, inside diameter, and the length. Add a designed flange, select the type as integral welded neck grooved face, define the dimensions, click Save. Now let's add a gasket with pass partition, select 2 passes, define the dimensions. Now let's add a new group, define it as a channel, select from left head up to F1. Let's select the head and add a pass partition, define the pass partition dimensions, click Save. Now let's add the shell elements. Let's add a tube sheet 1, select the type as a tube sheet gasketed from one side and welded from the other side, define the dimensions, select the number of passes as 2 passes, save. From here we will define the tube pattern. So let's define the dimensions, select number of passes, vertical bus lane and horizontal bus lane, define the tube type as tie rod dimensions. Let's draw the holing, define the tie rod locations, and let's save. Now let's add a shell course, define the inside diameter and the length. Let's add another tube sheet. Let's make it same as the first one, but in this case we will make it 1 pass. Now let's add a new group, start from tube sheet 1 and add tube sheet 2. Let's add a baffle, define the inside diameter, location, and number of baffles. Let's add another type of baffle. Same as type 1, let's change the orientation and the location. The third baffle, we will make it end baffle. So let's change it as end baffle. Define the dimensions, location. Let's click Save. Now let's add a tube. Select the standard length. Now let's add a tie rod. Define the length of the tie rod, the nut size, and the nut offset. Now let's click Start Assembly. Now the channel head, the pass partition, shell plate, flange, the gasket. After that, the first tube sheet, the baffles, first baffle, second baffle, and third baffle. Now the tube symbol. After that, the tie rod, the shell plate, the second tube sheet. Now we will select the first tube sheet and start holing to start creating tube pattern as simply holing in the tube sheet and baffles. Now let's add the channel, the bonnet gasket, a designed flange, and make it looks like flange 1. The same for the can, let's make it looks like can 1. Another head, make it looks like the first head, but we will select the flange and flip it, change the length of the shell, and flip the second head to make the convex of this head to the other side. Yes, simply. Now we have the complete body of the exchanger. Now let's add some nozzles to the channel. Let's add the first nozzle, define the projection from vessel center line, add the second nozzle, make it same as the first nozzle, but we will change the orientation only, keep everything. Select the shell on the tube side, define the nozzle location, rating and orientation, projection from vessel center line, add another nozzle, make it same as this nozzle, but with changing the location and orientation. So let's change location and orientation. Select the bonnet and add a vent nozzle. Select rating, size, change the location, add another nozzle as a drain nozzle. Make it same as vent, but we will change the orientation only. Now let's add saddles. Let's add the left saddle. Add a weir blade, define some dimensions, and click Save. Now let's add another saddle and let's make it same as the first one. But now let's flip it and change the location of this one and click Assembly. Now you can figure that the nozzles will be created on the channel. After that, on the shell side, the support saddles. After that, nozzles on the bonnet. You can figure that the saddle location make a clash with the second nozzle. So let's change the projection of the saddle and the location of saddles, and let's make the final run. Thank you for your time.